And we are live, everybody. Hey guys, Patrick Batty here. Welcome to another Boomer High. And you can see tonight we got a fairly full room, don't we? Hi, everyone.
Hi, Pat.
We're gonna go down the panel tonight. Normally it's just me and my guest or my co-host, Marion Herbertson. First of all, hello, Marion. How are you?
I am very well, Patrick. To be home. I spent London, but back home to my little corner of the world. So quiet here. So yeah, great hangout to see all of our friends and coaches on here as well, with a handful of them. But yeah, I'm back to you, Patrick. Looking forward to the session.
Okay, good. I'm just having a little look off to the side to make sure that the Hangout is playing properly on my other computer, just to see if we are broadcasting properly. 1 second, because I'm not seeing evidence.
As well, so.
Okay. Stand by for a second. I just want to make sure it is proper. And it's looking good. Okay, super. There was an error displaying there. I wanted to make sure I could get rid of it, and I did. So good. Well, welcome, and before we go any further, let's everybody introduce themselves, and then I'm going to tell everyone why you guys are here. Why don't we start to my immediate, I guess, right on the screen, and that would be Sue White. Sue, can we hear you? Looks like your mic.
Hello, everyone, and Patrick.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone, and thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's good to be here.
Where are you located, Sue?
I'm in Houston, Texas, and it's a beautiful day down here in the South.
Well, that's great. Well, look, I'm going to surprise everybody of why we're all here in a minute or two. Let's go next over to Randy.
Hey, thanks, Patrick. How you doing?
I am doing great, buddy. You know what? I've had a wonderful day.
That's awesome.
Honestly, I can sit back today and say I had a wonderful day. And so I am really happy to be here tonight.
Yeah, I've had a very, very productive day. Folks, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. In the snow belt, we've got snow coming soon.
By the way, and I'm in Canada, and you know what? It actually did snow in Calgary, Alberta today.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Now, it won't be there for long, but my God. I don't feel like we had summer this year. Yeah. Let's jump way over to the far left. I think he'll be on the left on everybody else's screen. We have Gary Chappelle. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Patrick. How are you?
Just like I said, I've had a wonderful day. Honest to God, like at the end of a lot of days, I'm kind of wiped out. Today, I feel like just going, honestly, running a marathon. I'm really feeling good tonight.
Yeah, that means you're doing really well when you feel just totally worn out like that. So you had a really productive day. So
yeah.
Hi, folks. I'm Gary Chappelle. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also in the South, like Sue. So we had a beautiful day today too. Really warm, nice. So you missed out, Patrick. So too bad. Need to get down here.
You know what? I seriously missed out. It is pouring buckets here today too. So, but anyway, aside from weather, let me fill everybody in on why we have a group of us here tonight, and what our common bond is and common thread is. Over the last three or 4 weeks now, right? I think, Marion, we've talked a little bit about a system that we're connected with called the iPass system. The iPass system is brand new. It's version 2, but version 1 started about 3 years ago. Version 2 just had this massive launch, and it's just the easiest way for, I think, boomers to make some extra money that I've ever seen. And I've been a fan of it all along, but it really didn't launch. I knew it was coming all this year, but it didn't launch until the other day. But I've been a fan of it all along, and I've been very committed to it. You guys have been more committed than me to it, even, because for quite a long time, you've been connected with the iPass organization as business coaches, right? And that's what we brought the four of you, well, the three of you on to join Marion and I tonight. I've recently became one of the business coaches too, but you guys have been kind of working with the iPass team, prepping for this launch and prepping to start coaching new members for months and months. I'm sure longer than you ever expected. And it's so exciting, and it's actually, you know, one of the reasons I've had a good day is the iPass system is rolling. Another reason I had a good day is because I've been coaching people today, and I'm seeing them make some real headway in their business. So that's, for me, that's highly rewarding. It's really exciting to see people that are brand new to a business make progress quickly. And I wanted to get, and Marion wanted to get you coaches, some of the other coaches on with us tonight. We're going to talk about why you became coaches, the kinds of things we do, the kinds of things we don't do, and just in general, you know, what we think iPass could mean for the people that typically watch this, you know, this weekly hangout, are baby boomers, seniors, maybe people in their early 50s, that type of thing. So, you know, I'm going to open it up. I don't know, maybe I'll take it over to Marion first. Marion, I've known now for about 6 months. Marion and I were on Hangouts together almost maybe about a year ago, I think, Marion, when we first met. And you introduced me to become an iPass coach. And we're not here recruiting new coaches, but you brought me into that. And I'm very, very thankful for you, for you doing that. I am seriously thankful for it because I am enjoying it so much. So, Marion, why don't you tell us a little bit more about why you became a coach and also your role as a coach? If we have audio. Do we have audio there?
Sorry, can you hear me, Patrick?
There we go. We can now. Yep.
I think you can, yeah? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right.
We're good.
What I was going to say is, you know, you say that I introduced you to iPass, well, the coaching system. It's simply because we were having a conversation one day, and I kind of realized that you would be perfect for this role, right? And what do I mean by that? You and me have always kind of been very into training our teams and being very interactive with our teams and all of that. We are natural teachers, you know, natural trainers. And I knew that that is what the coaches needed, you know, that's what the coaches needed to be. And my reason for being so dedicated, and Gary, Randy, and Sue will tell you this, we have been through what I call hell and high water, right, to get to this point, right? Because we've all been very successful in our own businesses and that kind of thing, but it was that duplication, you know. And yes, the young ones would come in, they knew exactly what to do, and they'd start doing all the social media marketing and mobile marketing and all that kind of stuff. And I would have really, really experienced boomers come in, but because they didn't cut their teeth on a laptop, meant they really struggled with the concept, you know? So they'd be as dedicated as the next person, but they would really struggle with duplicating. And that's when I heard about iPass, I completely realized that that is what we needed. So it was first, of course, due to launch in January, and then in I think it was March, they advertised for coaches, and we were going to start in April. I was so committed to it, and I didn't have a job anyway, but I was so committed to it that I said, fine, the job can wait, this is what I'm going to do, so develop my business and do this. And of course, as you know, it's taken all this time because of what has happened since it's launched and since we've been testing each, etc. It's been absolutely mind-blowing, hasn't it, Patrick? The results we've been seeing and that kind of thing. But I'm not going to hog the whole thing because I can get very enthusiastic about this. But I'm going to hand back to you. So that's me. And of course, I think everybody knows I'm from the United Kingdom, and we are Today was a good old grey United Kingdom day. So no difference at all.
I think it
Just
was here
part of the
too.
course.
I think it was
Okay.
here too. We've had a very quick summer, and it's a little sad to see it starting to look like fall already, because summer just honestly didn't hardly happen here. So,
Mm.
but anyway, let's go now, Sue. Why don't we go over to you and bring you in and have you tell us a little bit about why you got involved.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to do that. It's I think, like Marion said, and as the others talk, you'll hear a common thread that all of us, I think, are born teachers. We have a heart for people and a desire to share knowledge and experience. I myself consider myself a lifelong learner, and I believe in stewardship education. What I learn, I like to pass along. And so for me, being a coach gives me the perfect opportunity to do that. And in addition to that, I have an affinity, a likeness for the baby boomer market segment just in general. In fact, I live in an age 55 community, and it's really nice. You know, I have a lot of friends that are we're split about half and half, people that are retired and people that are not yet retired. But we're what you would call the active seniors. So even the ones that are retired, they're very active. They have a lot of interest. In fact, just yesterday, I was teaching a group of my neighbors, about 15 or 20 of them, how to use Facebook. And certainly all of those were baby boomers. It was a lot of fun. So that's sort of where I'm coming from.
I can see then how the affinity to what we're doing here, right? We should mention that our role isn't, even though you're teaching kind of the technical aspects of Facebook to people, our role here is more oriented towards not towards people's businesses than the technology, you know, and you know, kind of them, how they can position themselves and position their business for the maximum success and that type of thing. It's not so much to the technical bits and bytes aspects of it, because that actual training is in the system, right? There's training about that even in the system that's already there. And for that matter, with iPass, as we all know, they don't have to do a lot of that if they don't want to, right? So, but I've seen you and I've heard you.
I'd like to add just one comment, though,
Sure.
Patrick, along the line.
And I got to click on I forgot to put me up there, and I'll put you up there now once I get you on screen. Okay, Sue.
I just wanted to add one further comment real quick, that I think particularly for the baby boomer market, they need the high touch as well as the high tech. And I'm a systems person. My background is IT, and I love systems. I love ones that work well and smooth out the whole process. But to a lot of baby boomers, I think that a lot of that can even be a little bit mysterious. And they just feel better if there's someone that they can actually talk with and ask some questions and get some guidance. So I think the high touch is also very important.
Yeah. Well, and absolutely, they can reach out to do it, to do that with us. And my point was, though, with this, it's not that difficult. But yes, at least they've got somebody. That's the cool thing about iPass, isn't it? That at least they've got somebody. If they were just going to do internet marketing in general from scratch, like we all know, it's just there's so much to it. There's so much complication to it. There's so much, you know, so many different courses you can end up buying. There's so much money you can end up spending, and you might not ever have anything where you will make money. And I can actually go back to my own business, by the way, just a quick aside. When I left my corporate world three and a half years ago, I was convinced that I was, by somebody with some product, that I was going to have this massive network of websites that was going to make me all this advertising money from Google. I see Gary smiling. So, you know, like the people, that's what you're going to get, right? You're going to say, oh, you can have this, you know, massive empire of all these websites, and you just make them, And before you know it, the checks are rolling in. I mean, Google's your middle name. The money's coming in like crazy. It's just wonderful lifestyle. You get to. I worked 6 solid months building these websites. 6 months. I wrote articles about things that I knew nothing about. Topics that I knew nothing about. I wanted to have, like, there was one where all these acne products that they paid a good commission if anybody saw their ad. So I, as a 57-year-old, I was writing articles about acne. And I joked, I had acne as a teenager, and I didn't even have it all that bad. I think I used Clearasil, and that was it, or something like that. It wasn't that bad. And here now I'm writing these flippin' articles about acne and about everything under the sun. Anyway, I did it for 6 solid months, and writing articles like that is not easy. It's not passive work. Anyway, at the end of it, I made $38 from my empire. My empire was 38 flipping dollars. I'd like to say something else. And that was going to be in a check from Google, except Google doesn't cut the check until you get to $100. And I decided I wasn't going to work another year to make the rest of the 100. And that's when I went down a whole different path. But that was me doing internet marketing from scratch. And whereas what we're doing here today is kind of paint by numbers, more or less, with somebody who's actually doing it already there, that you can pick up a phone and call. So sorry I get carried away in that story because it's so ridiculous now, but I was so passionate doing it back then as I was going down such a ridiculous path. It was crazy. Hey, let me go over to Gary Chappelle on the far end here. Gary, and I'm going to pull you up on camera so I don't forget.
Hey.
There you go. So what do you think, Gary? Why did you get into iPass, and why did you get into coaching in iPass?
It's interesting, and I think, again, like Sue said, we all have kind of similar stories. I got into internet marketing back in 2008, kind of similar to you, Patrick. Came from the corporate world. I actually just got burned out on it. I got tired of it.
Yeah.
I had my own company. I was doing contract work, and I just got tired of going out there and hitting the street, trying to drum up business and getting contracts. And this was during a period in 2008 when a lot of these high-tech companies, they were starting to outsource a lot of work, overseas. So it was getting really tough for the little guys like me to find contracts and stuff. And I was just getting really burned out on it. And I wanted to try something else. And so I turned online. And I was fortunate. I found a mentor who actually did help me and learned a lot of good stuff for, the first 2 years. It took me a while to get any traction online. Failed miserably, just like you, the Google stuff, doing the AdWords stuff, building websites, all that stuff, and made some money, but no life-changing income for sure, and wasn't making nearly as much as I was making as an IT consultant. And after about 18 months, I think I really started getting some traction and started seeing some success. But like Marion said, the problem is, you're building a team of people, and there's no duplication. You can't teach that duplication to somebody else, as hard as you try. You tell them what to do, and for some reason, some people just can't do it. I can't explain it, but
I mean, if we knew why that was the case, we could fix it, right?
It's tough to duplicate. And so I'm a systems guy. I'm an IT guy. I've always been a systems guy. Always liked automated systems that could make tasks easier. Always tried to plug into them the best I could. But there was always missing elements. There was always some other work that somebody had to do, right? I mean,
right.
That no perfect automated system. So I had originally heard about the original iPass system, and I wanted to get that, but at that time it was exclusive to a certain group of people, and I couldn't get in. And I was so ticked because I really wanted to get in. I had heard about this system, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. I want to check this out. And then I was going to give it to my people and say, hey, try this, but I wanted to test it out first to make sure it was great.
Yeah.
Couldn't get in. And then finally I heard about iPass 2. and I was ready to get in. Now, I had no intention of being a business coach. Had no intention whatsoever of being a business coach for iPass 2. It's kind of a strange story, and I think a lot of us have similar stories about this, because I look at this group of coaches that we have now, and to me, it's like a perfect synergy. I mean, it seems like every coach fits into the coaching team perfectly. I don't think it was an accident. I really don't. I think we all came together at the right time for a reason. And when that email rolled into my box, and it was an email from Anthony Williams, who is the manager of all of the coaches, I actually deleted it the first time it came in. and that little voice in the back of my head, it was probably about 15 minutes later, because I had been thinking about this. I'd been meditating on this. Where am I going to go from here? I want to help my teammates, and I don't know how to do it. What am I going to do? And I was really kind of in a funk, to be honest with you. I just didn't know where I was going to go. And a little voice in my head said, go back and look at that email. And so I went to my trash folder, and I went searching through my trash and pulled up the email, and there's Anthony, and he's a video. And he was so impressive. I mean, Anthony is just an impressive guy anyway, and so smart, and you could just tell from listening to him that he has a really good heart. And I said, you know what? He was asking for people to apply to be a business coach. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I went ahead and filled out that application, and he eventually told us that he had interviewed hundreds of people, and he called me. And he said he wanted to interview me, and we did the interview, and then within a short period of time, he said, you're hired. And like I said, I don't think it was an accident. I really don't. I think all of us were put onto this team for a reason. And this iPass system it's an automated system that's really, to me, has everything that I was looking for to help the person who doesn't know anything about internet marketing. It's great for somebody who does.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's brand new, or a boomer out there who really doesn't know much more beyond turning on a computer and maybe reading email or something, it's so simple. It's so simple to go through the system and set it up, and to finally. And let me say this about boomers too. We think about boomers, and we think about people who may already be retired. I mean, I'm not retired. I mean, I could keep working. I saw myself continue, and I still do see myself continuing to work past the age of 65, just because I love it and I want to. So there are a lot of boomers out there who are looking for an escape. They might be feeling like they're trapped in their job or something, and they really want a way out, and they've been looking for something. I really do believe that this is the something that they've been looking for. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, hey, first of all, Gary, it's been really an honor to get to know you over the last while. And I mean, I agree that we've got a heck of a team. And even this, look at this, we got 5 of our business coaches are baby boomer age people. And I just turned 60. I might be the elder, I don't know, but I just turned 60 a little while ago, and I like what I'm doing. I mean, if somebody just said go play golf every day or go sit every day, I would say no, I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, if you saw my golf game, you would understand the one thing, and if you saw my you would understand the other. And it's just not for me. But you know what? I like what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing. But the cool thing is, I can do what I do now for years if I wanted to. And I can do it from wherever I want. That's the part that's important to me. That's the part that's important to me.
Freedom. It's freedom. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's. I mean, the coaching certainly takes time, and I don't know if I'll do coaching for a long time or not. I don't know. If I like to, great. If I don't like it, I won't. But I like it at this stage. But I want that freedom. I want the freedom for myself, for my wife, to be able to do this from wherever, whether it is, south like you guys, or maybe just south in the winter, or whatever. I know I don't want to be in Canadian winters all my life for the rest of my life. And I know that if we go somewhere for 3 months and we have an internet connection, I can do what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So it's that freedom is number one for me. But again, thank you, Gary. That's wonderful to hear that from you. I really, really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Well, let's go over to Randy Bevins. Randy, you unmuted?
I'm unmuted, Pat.
Let me get you up on screen here. So it toggles back and forth sometimes when we talk, but now I've got you on screen. So why don't you know where we're going with this? Why don't you fill us in a little bit about why you came in and what the story is?
Sure, Patrick. Thank you. I want to thank you and Marion for inviting me on to Boomer's Hive tonight. It really goes back. I've been one of the over the course of the years. I'm in my mid-50s. I have been living what we refer to as American dream of being in business myself now for over 34 years, and I've always enjoyed it. I reached a point in time in my life where I owned and been a multi-store franchise owner over the years, and spent many years in the financial services and mortgage company, and had at one time over 250 people working for our organization. And I was getting, like Gary said earlier, in a traditional business, a brick and mortar business, the business really owns you, because it really was taking a toll on just my time. It was literally, you think because you own the business. The old phraseology is, if you work in your business or work on your business. And I was working in the business. I had no opportunity really to leverage myself. And when I first, looked at really looking at what I wanted to do and having these franchises, and we built these stores again at several hundred thousands of dollars per store. So you're really leveraging yourself and going into business for yourself, and the profit margin was really shrinking in traditional business. So I started searching. And I started looking at the home-based business arena out there, and I really couldn't find what I was really looking for. And I had been, like Sue said earlier, I have been a student, really a self-improvement since my early 20s, and still a student. And I've been a student of the Brian Tracy organization since my early 20s. And so I had an opportunity to work directly as a certified sales trainer with their organization as an independent. And for the last several years, I've been training workshops and training salespeople in all walks of life of sales. Well, back in October 2013, I was introduced to the first original iPass 1, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I saw what we refer to as a digital style franchise. I related to that. I resonated with that there. I could see where I could leverage my time and be able to build a home-based business. I wasn't fluent in the internet business as far as the internet. Matter of fact, I didn't have a Facebook page. And because I looked at it, it took up a lot of my time. So as I started looking at the home-based business and looking at iPass, what I saw was an opportunity to be able to build a business, because it was just like the reason you buy a franchise is because of the system. I saw a system that would work actually for me. But not only myself, we could actually teach this to other people. And then I was on, like with Gary, I got an email from Anthony Williams. I looked at that and I said, you know what? I always get asked a lot of times in my community from people, well, how do I go into business for myself? And a lot of times, everyone wants to be in business, and a lot of times people don't know how to go into business, or they start the wrong business. But what I saw was an opportunity with the iPass system was to be able to build and be able to duplicate and open up like other franchises. That's how I related to it. And it's very, I spent the whole day today, coaching people, excited people, and someone was baby boomers. I've got 3 coaching calls scheduled up until 11:30 tonight, talking to people that are going into business for themselves, or they want more from where they're at. And Patrick, I'm excited, and the reason I love our coaching team here because we're so diverse. We're together, and the coaches that you have here, folks, we're at the best interest to help people make this decisions. If it's just earning a few $100s to many thousands of dollars, depends on what they want out of it. But that's what we do here as coaches.
Fair enough. Well, Randy, thank you very much. I really understand the digital franchise concept, the way it's laid out here. I mean, first of all, there's some benefits just being digital, right? Just being digital means, guys, that if somebody joins this business, when they start making sales in this business, they don't have to ship a darn thing. It is automatic. It's taken care of in the back. It's totally digital. People will get any products they buy automatically. So that's the digital side. The franchise we're really not a franchise, but the digital franchise style means effectively you're opening up a business and you can have duplication in this business, as you were saying, Randy, in a much easier, less expensive way than there is duplication in a franchise model, right? Every store you open is another store you're paying for, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It takes on average, Patrick, about 7 years to pay off a store.
Yeah. Well, here it'll take about 7 minutes for what it costs for the trial of our system, right. And the cool thing is, when you get into this system, when you follow the training, when you end up having other people see it, and we're going to show you how you can do that in our system. There's even way that you can get traffic of people, and if you don't even know what web traffic is, it's other people that haven't seen it before come and look at your store and decide if they want to buy or not. And we even have that built in, where people can actually literally click a button, order traffic of people to come to their store and make a decision either whether they're going to buy or whether they're not. They're not all going to buy, okay, but some will. Some will. It's just the way it works. So it's not like buying another store to buy traffic. It can be very, very affordable and basically profitable, if the way we lay it out in our system. So I really see the franchise kind of model here without the franchise kind of expense. Exactly. And or management. Effectively, if you're building a business here, you don't have to manage people. I mean, I've managed people. I've had teams up to 700 salespeople work for me a long time ago, thankfully. And you know what? A lot of people thought that was fun and there were some days that was kind of fun, but boy, there was a lot of days where I was having to fire people or whatever. That was not fun. Or all the issues of managing bunches of people, or in franchises, I would expect there'd be other personnel things to deal with and all that. Here, I got one guy to manage. That's me. I get to talk to some people, but their business is their business. It's not my business. Okay? I can help them, but it's still their business. They still have the response. They're responsible for their business. I'm responsible to give them some guidance, but that's it. But at the end of the day, I run mine, they run theirs, and I don't have the management hassles of 20 employees, 50 employees, or 700 employees, or any of that kind of stuff anymore. And Gary, I can relate to what you said, Gary, about leaving the corporate. When I left the corporate world 3-4 years ago, I literally was at a point in my life, and I was running sales with companies, but I was also making sales with companies. And all of a sudden, I had bosses that were like 40 years younger than me. And no offense, that's just the way it was going to happen, right? When you're getting into your late 50s, all of a sudden I had these young guys, 25 years old, that were entrepreneurial enough to start businesses, and somehow smart enough to be able to get a lot of money for their businesses and then hire me. But they'd never done any of it before, and I'd been doing it, and yet they were telling me what to do every day, and it was driving me a little wacky. Honestly, it was. It really was, because they hired me because I apparently knew what I was doing, and then they told me what to do all the time. That was, I put myself in that position. That was my problem, but my problem was not one I was going to deal with very long, and I didn't. So given an opportunity to get out of that scenario, I got out of that scenario as soon as I could. And it just happened to be they were going to do some cutting, and I was going to be one that they asked if I would take a pretty big cost cut, and I said no. Let's come up with another plan. And my other plan was I was out the door in about an hour, and that was for me the perfect plan. And it was kind of funny, but anyway, back on track. And I apologize. Sometimes I do get a little off. That I'm a baby boomer. That's what we're supposed to do, right? But anyway, I got to the point that I just couldn't take it anymore, and I was supposed to be making 100 sales calls a day or crazy stuff like that. Or in my business, we were working with the university market, and I'd spend all day at a university that maybe was only about 15 minutes from my house, and they'd want me to come back to the office at 6 o'clock at night and make phone calls for 2 hours. And I'm thinking, this is not working, and that's why I got out of it. I just couldn't. It just seemed like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people just feel trapped.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel trapped in their jobs.
That's exactly right. And I felt that I had to get out. But I was attracted to the internet marketing when I got out, all these ads, and nothing made internet marketing easy that I've seen in 3 years until I saw iPass.
Yep,
Plain and
exactly.
simple. Until I saw iPass. I can talk about other stuff. I've done other stuff, and I don't want to get into it, but I've been successful in what we call the profit maximizer in iPass. And I've been pretty successful. But it took a lot of work to be that successful.
And I think that's another good point you just made, too, because all of the coaches were all involved with the company that is inside of iPass. We all have experience with it. So we all know, the ins and outs of all the guts of iPass, I guess you could say, because we've all experienced it. So
Absolutely.
we know whereof we're speaking.
Yeah, well, we really do. And, we know that there are certain people, and maybe I'll put an income disclaimer in. I'm usually not smart enough to do that all the time and all that kind of thing. There is no promises of income. Your earnings are not, my earnings aren't typical, Mary's earnings aren't typical. They're all based on what you do. And what you do with iPass is still there's not typical earnings. It's you go in, you send traffic, you make money, but it's all going to be dependent on how much traffic you send. And that's basically it.
And they can go to ipassearnings.com to check that out.
Can they? No, I didn't even know that.
ipassearnings.com. They can check the earnings disclaimer.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll put a link right on the page for it then, okay?
Okay.
I'll add that. So let's go back to iPass a little bit. Before I go into that, I was just talking about the profit maximizer system. Well, you know what? Certain people on that system have literally made millions of dollars. Other people have made zero. So there's a wide gap in typical earnings. But the people who have made a lot have worked their tails off to do it. I do not begrudge them that. I admire them for what they've done and the focus they've had and the effort they've put in. But what I really like is we seem to be able to turn that whole thing on through iPass without that kind of effort. With
Hey,
all
Patrick,
we need.
can I say something for just a
Sure.
second? I think particularly as we get older, we get a little wiser, and we've been told all our lives, if you work hard, you'll be successful. But I think there comes a point in our life where we don't want to be working harder, we want to be working smarter. And I think iPass is the vehicle that allows us to work smarter to accomplish a lot more with a lot less effort and a lot more freedom.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's well put, because you know what, I could go through, thousands of hours of training or make, 50,000 videos or 20,000 Facebook posts or all kinds of article marketing and search engine optimization, all that kinds of stuff. And all of that, by the way, works. but how much time does anybody have at it to do it? How much skill do you have to do it? And are you skilled in all those things? We don't have to be here. That's the cool thing. We do not have to be here. We lay out very straightforward training in the system that you go through. It's going to take about, what did you say, about a total of 4 hours? Probably 4 hours to go through what we call the formula videos. People are going to get into that system. It's going to cost $7 to get access to that. $7. We're talking about building a business, and we're saying $7. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? But let me explain a bit. $7 is for a trial to the system. Okay, I don't want to surprise anybody. It's a trial. We've got a link down below here that will take you to watch a video that will explain the system. It's right down below. And whoever sent you here, if you join it, you'll effectively be joining through them. So whoever sent you here to this website, to the Boomer High site tonight, if you end up joining it through the link, you'll be joining through that person. So if it was a friend of yours, great. Okay, you'll be joining through them. If it's somebody you didn't know, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's $7. You're going to get the training to get things going for your business. Now, if you choose to stay with it, once you see the videos on the inside of the system, then we're going to ask you to, you'll be asked if you want to join. Effectively, the trial's 7 days, and if you stay with it before the end, if you don't cancel, you will end up as a monthly iPass customer and effectively an affiliate. Okay, and that costs $47 a month. All right, and that's it. That gets you going with iPass. Now, there are other things in the system. There's more training in the system and all that kind of thing, but effectively it's a $7 trial to get in the door and to watch all of the videos. And I swear, the 6 formula videos, I don't know if you guys agree or not, but the 6 formula videos to me, if I would have had those videos in the last 3 years, I probably would have made 10 times the income I've made. And I haven't done bad.
I agree. I mean, the way Chris lays that out and then Mark laid that out,
yeah,
they basically explain why the system works.
Yeah.
I mean, they explain from A to Z. Why does the system work? Why do you need all the pieces in place that are in place? And all you have to do is watch the videos, and they will map it out for you.
Yeah.
And it can't get any clearer than that.
And if you are not technically challenged, they even have a setup service, and I think the setup is like $50. So if you don't know a thing technically, other than how to fill out the order form, that's all you have to do is fill out the order form, watch the videos, and then say, set it up, $50. Your system will be set up for you, and that's it. It's. But the key thing is those videos are amazing. We can't show them here. Why? Because they're on the inside. Okay, but
Patrick,
yes.
Sorry. Talking about these videos, Patrick, coming in from the dark. Yes. Talking about these videos, right? And how effective they are. I just want a little experience I had the other night, and I actually put it into the coaches chat, didn't I? It was the last call of the day. It was sort of 2 o'clock in the morning for me, kind of thing. And I phoned this lovely lady, and she'd asked for, a chat kind of thing. She'd contacted us through the system. So I phoned her, and she said to me, "Is that Marion?" And I said, "Yes." And I could hear the videos playing in the background. She was on video 6. She was just finishing it off. And as soon as she realized it was me and I was from iPass, bless her heart, her voice broke and she started crying. Right. Now, I'm a mug for that. If anybody cries, I'll end up crying too. Doesn't matter why they're crying. So she's crying, I'm crying, and I'm like, "Why are you crying? Is everything okay?" And she said to me, "Marion, you have no idea. I know that internet marketing is what's going to bring the change to me. I have struggled for so long knowing exactly what I want, but unable to create it. And this is exactly what I want. And of course, she started crying some more, and I started crying some more. So I had to say to her, I said, that's fine. And she kept apologizing, bless her, I'm so sorry. I don't. And I had to say to her, listen, and obviously I won't mention her name, but if she's listening, she'll know exactly who it is because she wrote a little thank you note as well. But I had to say to her, listen, it doesn't matter, cry, it doesn't matter. That's exactly how I felt and what I did. The utter sense of relief when I saw those videos, because we saw them earlier, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying to my team, I'm so emotional. My legs are shaking. My tummy is all wobbly. And I remember one day I told you all said I was mad. I could have gone and hugged a tree. I was so happy for what was coming. And that's the kind of response that we're seeing, aren't we, as coaches?
Yeah.
It's such an honor and so humbling to be able
Yeah.
to see the responses that we're getting. So, right, that's me, Patrick. Enough interrupting for me.
Okay.
I'm getting out.
Well, I'll tell you what. It reminds me of one call I made yesterday because I was, well, on the first day we had some technical hurdles and we were calling some of the people and then we've also people have made appointments to us, so we're calling some of the people and when you phone somebody, these days when you phone somebody, you're automatically worried that somebody is gonna try to sell you something or it's another what do you call it telemarketer or something like that, right? I made a phone call to a guy, and again, I won't say his name yesterday, so he picked up the phone, and I said, hello, is this so-and-so? And he said, yeah. But he said it in a real, yeah. Like, you could see it's like automatically the back was up, I don't even want to be on the phone right now. And I said, it's Coach Patrick Batty from iPass. He said, oh, my God, how are you? Oh, and he literally like that, so excited. And it wasn't about me. It wasn't about me. It was the fact that there was somebody there that was there purely to help him. And he said, it's so cool. I've been going through the videos and we actually as coaches get to, see that people have gone through them, and we really want to talk to people more so after they've gone through them, so we don't have to teach them everything that's in the videos all the way through. But I'll tell you what, the excitement we've been getting, I agree with you, Marion, when you make those calls, I mean, they're not all like that, but you know what, I started laughing when he was doing that. I said, you just made my day. I mean, that's what makes it fun. When you get a reaction like that from somebody, try being how would you like to be a telemarketer all day long with people slamming the phone down on you and all that? And yet we now get to have people that when they know our name because we show up as their coach, and when we get to call them, they're excited about it.
Hey, have you seen or had this experience? Because I've had this a lot in the last couple of days, and maybe Sue and Randy, you can elaborate too. But as soon as I see somebody has signed up for the trial, I'll go ahead and I'll call them. And like you said, these days people think it's a telemarketer, so they don't even answer the phone, and it goes directly to voicemail. And so I'll leave them a welcome message, and I mean within a minute, I get a call back. And they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't realize it was you. I've been wanting to speak to you. And it's just funny. It really is just a total paradigm shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that I'm finding is I'm talking to people and they all are coming to this conversation with a problem, and they've worked through the videos and they see a solution to this problem that has been troubling them for months or maybe years. I want to be home with my kids and I have to drive 40 minutes to work through the mountains, and this is no fun, and so they're coming with this problem and they see it, they get it. And it's so fun, it's the same deal. It's just so fun to talk to these people because we can help them realize their dreams.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, I'd like to add a couple things here.
Sure.
Besides, we're all baby boomers here. There is another sector of a group of business of people out there. You've got the people that are in corporate America dying to get out. They lost their jobs. They've had executive positions. But there's another side. You know, being in business over the years, there's a group of individual people, and maybe some on the on the chat tonight, that have been in a family business for many, many years. And the business right now is their kids don't want the business, their grandkids don't want the business, and they feel that there's no way out. I've had a couple of those calls this week of a gentleman that owned a heating and air conditioning company, and he said, we've had it in the family for 40 plus years. He says, I'm tired. I just want out, but I can't get out. And I'm looking for something to be able to replace my income. And he says, I'm looking all the time. So there's a group of people out there. You know, everyone dreams of being in business. And Gary, you've been there too. We've all been there. But there comes a point in time where Rich, and you always will need solid, great employees. But there comes a point in time in a brick and mortar business, if you have employees, you know I wanted a business really with no more employees. No disrespect to employees, but I just got to a point where I reached that I wanted out. And there's a lot of people out there that want out of family businesses, and they're looking for something. This is where the iPass system can truly look at the profitability without the expense of any type of traditional business and overhead. Folks, your overhead to operate this type of a business is under $400 a month in fixed expenses. Your variable expenses is just being able to advertise your business, and you have that in all businesses. That's what I really love about talking with the people that we talk on a daily basis. And they are, Gary, I mean, I call them up and they're excited. I had a few people also, Marion, cry on the phone because they look for a way that, and they see a way that they can really change their future.
Well, thanks, Randy. You know, the cool thing is not only can they change their future, now because we can say this because we know what's inside. We know that not only can they change their future, they can change the future of the people that join them. And doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you feel good knowing I'm not here trying to sell you something, I'm trying to help you with something. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's yes.
Sorry, Patrick, I'm going to interrupt you here again because I don't know, I'm sort of having a little bit of a time lapse here, so I do apologize if I cut across you there. But, you know, talking about this, it's not just ourselves or, you know, it's not just the individual that's going to be helped. Quite truthfully, what this is creating, what this has the ability to create, if it's treated seriously as a business, is quite literally generational wealth and freedom, isn't it? That's what it's creating, kind of thing. Because now, you know, my son-in-law, he's a director of a company. All this time, he wouldn't kind of entertain anything else. Now, when he's seeing the automation, he's going, wow, so you mean I just do this, and you'll do this, and I get this? Yes, you know, it's as simple as that, really. But the other bit that I want to talk about as well, I know for us as boomers, this is so relevant to us. But for anybody listening who isn't a boomer, you know, you just happen to have come across this and all us boomers are wittering away on here, let me just tell you that amongst our coaches, we have, they all want to be honorary boomers, by the way, right? They think it's so cool. But we have a group of youngsters, and they've actually labeled themselves, these are all our coaches. And I want to show you the variety and, you know, the wonder of these coaches here. These guys are all under 30, right? And they've created their own little society, if you like, and it's called RB30 or RB3, I'm not sure. And what does that mean? It's rich before 30, right? They grasp it, they see it, right? So, you know, I mean, we've got people there who've done their doctorates, you know, people who are professors. They've done all of that, and they've seen that youngsters, and they've seen that is all that's done for them is created pressure, created debt in their lives, And here they have something that will work for them and where they can help others as well. It's just absolutely, utterly amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just such a privilege to be in this position.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think a couple of the coaches that are fairly new are like 19, 20 years old. So we got a few in the really, really young, many in their 30s, some in their 40s, us in our 50s or 60s in my case. So it doesn't matter. And in the business, same thing. It's like it spans everything. It spans every age group. I think you have to be 18 just to legally go into a business like this. But we span every age group. It just happens to be in our group here tonight, and on the Boomer High site, we focus on people in our age, but anybody can do it. So, you know what? I think we're at a point, though. I'd like to just end. I want to just talk a little bit more about iPass, and then we'll just conclude. And I looked at our video. I don't know, video's off on my one screen, but it's on the other, so that's fine. The key thing here for people to know is there's a business here. It is a business. It's not a game. It's not an investment fund or anything like that. It is a business. You are in the business. When you go in the business, your business is to also sell other people the products that are part of this business. Okay, and when you do that, you make commission. And the commissions range from 50 to 70% commission on the iPass products. And I won't get into the comp plans or anything like that, but the iPass products, it's fairly straightforward. The cost to get in basically will be $47 a month, but you have a 7-day trial as part of the thing. That's what you're signing up for on the link down below here. You have 7 days. You can decide to get in it. And there's even a guarantee on it as well. I can't remember exactly what that is off the top of my head, but there is a guarantee on it. But it's 7-day trial to decide to go through this business, to set up a kind of a game plan, to have a coaching meeting. All of that is included, and all that happens in that 7 days if you want it to happen. Okay, so it's pretty crazy. I mean, this is not an inconsequential business. Don't let $7, seven little dollars, make you think there's nothing to it. You will be able to invest more in this business, and you make more in this business. But I'll tell you what, the iPass team has laid it out in such a nice, easy, straightforward manner that it's almost like a paint-by-number business. It really is. It's something like that. It's not like you have to figure it out on your own. We've laid it out in 6 steps in one part, and then there are other training components as well. But the Fast Start program is 6 videos that we want to go to, and that gets you in the position that really you can pull out your game plan and also talk to the business coach about how serious you want to really get with the business. So I think we're at a point that we should conclude. If you guys want to say a quick goodbye or a quick conclusion, then I'll come back at the very end. Gary, you want anything to conclude with?
We had the privilege of having a coaching meeting today, and we had a gentleman on. You think I can mention his name? Think that's okay?
Go for it.
Yeah, Rodney Allgood spoke to the coaches today, and he said something profound. He said a lot of profound things, but he said something that really hit me, and it was talking about children and how when we're children, the sky's the limit. There's nothing we can't do. You ask a child what they want to be when they grow up, and I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a fireman or a policeman or a nurse or a doctor, and then something happens along the way. Life starts happening, and you get beat down, and there's so much negativity in the world, and people tend to focus on the negative, not the positive. And we need to retrain our minds. That's really what it's all about. You have to get to the point where you just decide that you're not going to accept that negativity anymore, and you're going to retrain your mind to start focusing on the positive and to start believing again, because the children are really the ones who've got it figured out. You know, they are the ones that are closer to the truth, more so than adults are. You know, you've got to let go of all of that stuff that happened to you along your life, and then realize that you need to get back to the way you thought as a child, and realize that you really can do whatever you want to do if you set your mind to it. So that's all I really wanted to say. It just hit me today. I found that very, very profound, and I just wanted to pass that along to everybody.
It really was. Just to add to that, just for a second, just 1 second, Sue, just to conclude it. The guy that actually became an astronaut did visualize that he was going to be one, didn't he, as a child? Any man or woman who became one probably said they wanted to as a child, and they didn't let anyone squash their dreams along the way.
Yep.
Sue, you had something? Sue, can you hear us?
Yeah, I just wanted to hitchhike on Gary's comment.
Okay.
I was going to respond the same about this particular motivational speaker, and he had a quote, a Maya Angelou quote today that struck home with me. I'll try to get it right. I didn't get it completely written down, but it'll be close. The greatest agony in life is to live a life with an untold story within. And I think many people, baby boomers, very often, case in point, we were directed as kids, you know, get the safe job, become an accountant, don't become an astronaut, right? Or do this or do the other to be safe and secure. And we have a passion or a dream or a vision locked inside of us. And if we continue to leave it locked inside of us, that's a tragedy. But iPass is a vehicle that will allow us to unlock that gift or that passion or that dream and live out the life that we were meant to live. That was, I mean, there were so many little nuggets in that session today, but that one really captured my attention.
Well, both of them were wonderful. It was a wonderful session, and thank you for doing that. Let me zip over to Randy.
Yeah, I'm just, our speaker today, he was from Hawaii, and he just had a lot of profound things to say. You know, childlike enthusiasm that he talked about there today about the children really struck me too, Gary, because you know, we do stop dreaming as we get older. We start playing it more safe, and you know, it's the dream that lives within us that really we can really make it come alive. You know, age is just a number. We hear that, but it really is just a number. And let's go live our dreams, folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Marion, how about you?
Well, I've just decided to fall out with Randy because he said what I wanted to say, right? So, but basically, here's the thing. I think it was Tony Robbins, you know, and the other day I came across it again. It was, I don't know, I saw it somewhere on my desktop or something, and all it said was, your dream doesn't have a time stamp on it. So in other words, you know, it doesn't matter how old we are or whatever it is, and there's no time limit. It doesn't mean because I'm 55 or 56, I can never remember that actually, but you know, probably a sign of the times. But because I'm in my 50s, it doesn't mean I can't do the things that I want to do. Because at the end of the day, you know, life is what you make it, and it's our dreams. And we have to realize that we can actually awaken our dreams and start dreaming again. Because, like we've talked about, you know, life does tend to kind of get you to the point where you are working so hard, you're kind of just putting one foot in. It's like walking into the wind on a stormy day. You know, you've got your head down, and you're focusing on putting one foot in front of the other. And that's all you do in order to survive. And that's what life can do to us sometimes. But what we're doing here, Patrick, you know, we've all been really successful. And it's wonderful how that's picked us up and helped us to start dreaming again. You know, and now with this system that sort of is going to help so many people, I just want to say to anybody listening to this, you can hear I get very passionate about it. Think about your dreams again, all those dreams about traveling, all those dreams about the things you wanted, you know, the places you wanted to see and all that kind of thing. it's like taking your dreams out of the closet, start dusting them down, because you're going to be able to respect this business, follow the coaches, follow what Chris and Mark are teaching, be obedient to the system. That's the thing that it keeps being dinned into us. Be obedient to the system. You're going to be able to live your dreams. And I say this with all sincerity. That's me, Patrick.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Thank you, Marion. Well,
You're
look,
welcome.
I'm just gonna conclude here. Yeah, the speaker that we had this morning was wonderful, and it's almost indicative of the training that we have in the system. And in fact, he was one of our former coaches earlier on with the system, and I'm going to play that video again. I found it just he was magnificent, and I assume we're going to be connected with him a little bit more. Maybe we'll even have some of his videos in the system or something like that. I don't know. But it was just amazing. He literally should be standing up in front of audiences with 10,000 people, and I think he will. But on this whole subject of dreams, it really is actually true. You can manifest what you want for yourself. You have to want it. You have to let the world know you want it, and you have to take action to make it happen. Magic happens when you combine all of those things. I don't know why, I don't know why it is, but it is. It does happen. We've all come together in all kinds of different circumstances. We've all come together from different businesses, different walks of life, different parts of the world, all kinds of things like that. And we've come together at what we think, we all believe is the absolute right time with the absolute right vehicle for us to make massive businesses, but for us to help you, the audience, who are watching us today, to build your own massive business. And we really want you to do that. We hope you want to do it. If you want to do it, you really owe it to yourself to get started, or owe it to the generations of families that will benefit from you taking action. So all you have to do is there's a button down below here. You click on that. There'll be another wonderful video from a friend of ours. It's a real video, a real person that we know. It's not some kind of fabricated story that you'll take you to, but this is a person that we work with. He's going to share his story with you. When you watch this story, this is a fairly young guy. I don't know how old Adam is, guys. I would say, I don't know, 30? I'm not sure, but maybe not. But anyway, he's a young guy.
I think he said 27 on that video.
I was thinking he might be.
Completely blew me away. Yes.
When you listen to Adam's story on the link down below where it says Set Up iPass, you listen to his story. It's a true story. Okay? And then you decide that you want to get started, and we will absolutely welcome you. When you get in there, when you go in there, when you set up your account, one of the coaches will be informed that you're in there. Okay? You'll set up an account. You start populating a thing we call the game plan, which is more or less what you want to do. What do you want to achieve with the rest of your life? What kind of income goals do you have? What do you want to do with that income? Those kinds of things are in there. And those are the kinds of things that you will be discussing with your coach when your coach meets you. Okay, we're not just doing this cookie cutter style. This isn't, your game plan is your game plan. When you fill that out, you put your heart and soul into it, because it's going to be the heart and soul of your business going forward. So the next step is purely one of going down and watching that video. It takes about 10 minutes, maybe 15, and then get started. And one of the coaches will be in touch with you. You'll be able to schedule an appointment, okay, and have a coaching call when you want. Okay, there's a calendar in there that you'll set it up. Book a coaching call, fill out your game plan, go through the 6 videos. If you want us to set up your system for you, we'll do that. If not, if you want to do it, which is pretty easy anyway, you do it, and we've got training to show you, and you can get started today. Okay? So with that, I think we're going to thank all of you guys for joining us. You were wonderful. You were wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love it. I really appreciate the rest of you guys joining us. I hope you folks that are watching us tonight join in with us, get started, take action, live your dreams, plan your dreams, and execute on them. And that's all it comes down to. So hit that button, and we'll see everyone else next week on Boomer High. And you who join us this week, right now, we're going to see you in the next couple days. All the best, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight, and we'll see everybody again next week. Bye-bye.